Acolyte 4.
Acolyte
episode 4.
Episode
Acolyte
4. All right, so Acolyte episode 4. We open on the planet where a Wookiee Jedi is hiding away, and he is chilling like a villain and trying to. He's been keeping it low in the forest, in these crazy, creepy forest for decades now. And what's her name? It's not May, not Osha. It's May. May is out to find him.
Yeah, so May. So we got a story of Acolyte, Sith chick. We're not sure. She's killing all these Jedi. It's super woke. There's just all kinds of nonsense going on. They were able to shove their they them pronouns right in there, and I think
was so funny. It was so funny because it was like
awkward, though.
It was genuinely like normally that would not even like pop up on my radar. Normally, the way that the exchange happened, they made it like a very natural exchange, but it was so clear because of the context of what it's in that they were like, how can we need somebody to acknowledge that somebody may not be a he or she. Yeah. That has to be, we just need somebody to acknowledge that. And even if it's just offhanded, just perchance, let's make it look supernatural. And they thought they slipped it under the rug so well. And I was like, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah. It was not though. I disagree. I think what it is like, it was,
I hear you.
It takes you out of the story because it would have been way more subterfuge doing that because it was an alien character. I'm going to see if I can pull up the alien character.
Right. He looked like a little squirrel or like a large rodent of sorts.
Like, so all you had to do was be like, are they part of the crew or what are they? And you would have been able to subterfuge that in and just be all like, ooh, look, we've snuck it in. Because it's an alien and you're like, I don't know what that thing is. It's an it. Like, is it an animal? Is it a person? However, they had to do he, they, which then just is like, no one talks like that. Like, I know like weirdos and mutants with pink hair talk like that nowadays. Like the last 5 seconds, the mutants talk that way. But in the history of humanity, no one has talked this way. In the history of the English language, no one has talked this way. And so when you force it in like you do, it's just it takes you right out of the storytelling. Because now I know you're preaching to me. Now I am very, you've been preaching to me, but now it's just so stop. I don't care. That's how I felt. I think I got it. Let's pull it up. This character, which was, I don't know how I feel about this character. You guys tell me how you feel about
that's
this
right.
character.
I forgot we were still talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about they, him, whatever.
Okay. Anyway, you gonna pull something up? What do you got?
I don't know if they were adorable.
Yeah.
So it was this character, and they were used as like a tracker, like a bloodhound, essentially. And it's like, why couldn't you just had a dog? Everyone loves dogs. But I think it was because they could have we could do this pronoun thing.
Basil,
slip it in and do
you mean it's the character is almost like is expositionist, so it's like Basil exposition.
Yeah.
Another reference to Austin Powers. It's terrible. Okay, you're welcome.
And I'm we got a lot of people that have opinions, and IGN's never going to show you the based opinions. They're only going to show you the supporting ones, right? Because IGN's kind of sold out. But we got some funny memes around this character. I think a space bloodhound would have been way cooler because everyone loves dogs, man, and that would have just been better. But this is Basington, so Paddington Bear is Basil. I don't know.
So
man. I don't know.
So
I just feel like they can't do anything right anymore because this character wasn't cute. It was weird. It was like you could. It's almost like the people that are doing Acolyte are just incapable of doing anything good. You all every Star Wars thing has to have a cute little thing, right? That's like Lucas standard is like a cute little.
They got to have the little. She has their little pip droid, but now they need like an Ewok character.
And you couldn't even do it, dude. An Ewok character would have been 10 times better. Do you not honestly, if you had an Ewok character drop in,
Like
people would have been like, yeah, I want to watch now. Even though the Ewoks are the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars.
An early bridge of an Ewok, you know, because this is years before.
Yeah, but the Ewoks were around. I mean, they're like an Aboriginal, like, you know, native, like
but
tribal.
they wouldn't necessarily be identical, but you'd be like, oh yeah, is it an Ewok or is it like a small Wookiee? What is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Ooh, a race of small Wookiees? That would be dope. And they're trackers.
A race of well, that's what Ewoks are. You just described Ewoks. Well,
I know, no, but Ewoks are still kind of like even though, you know, they're mildly cannibalistic and whatnot, like they're still kind of like teddy bears. But I mean like slender, like athletic Ewoks.
Yeah.
That are ready to that will kick ass, and they work in numbers and they work quickly. That would be an interesting movie.
Did you notice the Jedi that doesn't belong?
Yeah, the random guy who's like, oh well, he's gonna die in this episode. The one random dude who's just like leading the.
Well, no, that's a different thought, but more like. So let's see if we have it here.
I'm like, the Jedi doesn't belong. Yeah, there's one random guy who they don't talk to, they don't name the entire time they're in the walk. He's gonna die. Yeah.
So well, that's like. The white guy, I think the white straight guy in Star Wars has become the red shirt from Star Trek.
He wasn't even a white straight guy. Whatever. He was. Yeah, I think he may have been of color, and he's got like a weird patchy beard and whatnot. But it doesn't matter. It was just very clear that like, okay, this guy is just there as filler. What are you referring to then?
I'm referring to this guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But so this is supposed to happen 100 years before the original film.
He can't get that off the top of his head. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He's trying.
So there's this Jedi who
knows over there?
Yeah, like Dickhead. So Jedi Dickhead. He is supposed to be. He was in the prequels. And so this is kind of like happening like 40 years before potentially he was born. So they're already having continuity issues, but it is the Force, so you could explain why. I just wish they would just bring in new characters if they're going to do this.
Hold on a
second.
Dumb. Are you sure this is supposed to be the same guy that's in?
Yes, it is supposed to be. The name in the credits is that character.
Then most likely they're going to wrap it up in a bow that says his race lives super long, and this is his earlier. You know, this is the earlier years in him doing.
Jedi Dickhead here. He makes a little bit of a cameo, and that's in the credits. It was Jedi Dickhead, the same, Jedi that was in, or is Penis Head? Is that going to get us thrown off YouTube? Which is more appropriate for YouTube? So Jedi Pee-Pee Head, Jedi Phallic Head. You guys have fun in the chat with your names about Jedi.
We'll just
Porpoise Nose.
Make it Jeddick.
The Jeddick. He's not just a Jedi. He's a Jeddick.
He's the Jeddick.
They're like an advanced. They're like above Jedi Masters. They're just straight up Jeddick.
They're Jeddicks.
Yeah.
All right. That's terrible.
Anyway, we've kicked that horse. So he makes an appearance. It's not. But the funny thing is like watching the whole thing. You're like, the acting's just like she might have been the best actress in the entire thing, other than the guy from Squid Games.
There's a few people who are really good, and the rest is just like like a bunch of filler. And you're even like that freeze frame. Like you look at the back wall of that set. You're like, there was such either that's a painting or there was such little time done to the detail. Like it doesn't even look like it looks like a TV Star Wars. Yeah. Like a Star Trek set. It looks like a Star Trek set.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a set from Star Wars.
And then all the tertiary like Jedi and stuff, they're all like, oh, I'm a Jedi Master and I'm a woman, and I'm a Jedi Master and I'm a woman, and all the women are bossing around the men. So she's like, I'm bossing, Jeddick around. She's been in like basically anytime there's a BBC mystery where someone gets murdered, she's one of the character actors in that show. And but the acting, like, the worst of all is that green bald lady. She can't act, and she has so many lines. She can't act worth crap.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like this pivotal person who's like holding a bunch of stuff together, and she's very much like, look, I have to say these lines right now, other Jedi, and you're making us all look bad. I was in the makeup chair for so long this morning. Let's not fuck this up, okay?
So I gotta look her up. I should have had this all ready for you guys. I apologize, but I had a different plan and it's not working.
I think the show revealed its cards already.
Oh yeah, way early. I mean, way long ago. But this is the lady I'm talking about. So my biggest beef here was, okay, so bad actress, but then you could kind of like go, oh, but she's a Jedi Master and she's in charge of all these other people, so she's not going to really have a lot of emotion or any range because she's like centered and one with the Force. Except there's a scene where she's like all like, she goes angry, withholding sex wife, where she's all and you're just like, whoa, toxic woman alert, toxic, like, or that time of the month alert, that time of, like, she's PMSing and she's all and it's like so cringy bad. The lady can't act. So then you're like, oh, so she doesn't have her emotions in control, but she's also the Jedi Master in charge of all these other Jedi Master. Like, really?
There was definitely a moment where I was like, she sounds like she's being a little revealing a little too much emotion right here for someone who's supposed to be this composed Jedi Master. That as do all of them at some point, they all reveal something, which is the basis of the whole thing, saying that like you shouldn't, restricting yourselves and going by this ridiculous moral code that you've set is absolutely absurd, and it's only going to restrict you, especially when those who have a similar power actually discover, a better way to use it and are more powerful than you.
Yeah.
It's like...
I think in the Spaceballs, if they were going to be really funny and just make fun of everyone, there would be a scene where they have this lady Jedi, bald, green, LBGTQIRSP Jedi, and then when she starts flipping out, the other guy like pulls out the like a card or like a little computer and goes... And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just checking what day of the month it is.
Oof. I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, man. Even my wife is laughing at that one because it's funny.
No, sure. I can hear. It's we're actually in the same. All of us are actually in the same house. We're just separated by one room. We're just fooling everybody and pretending we're in different states.
She just texted me and said hilarious. So that's why when people go, you're so misogynist, I get encouraged by my wife. She's the one that's telling me half these jokes, guys. I'm serious. She's the one. Even the Baron agrees with my wife. Women and composed Jedi Master?
What? So check it out. So what then happens is, so May is now on this, May the bad twin, which is really interesting because the actress, what she's done, the subtleties that she's done to make it look like, she's one versus the other, is very much like she gets
so
like
subtle that you don't even really notice.
Yeah, she has like the oh no face for OSHA, because she's like, oh shit, and always like violating OSHA codes, and then May is like always angry and is giving like porn star bedroom eyes or something. She's always looking and leering and you're like, oh, okay, well now I'll definitely know, because one of you is doe-eyed and the other one looks like they're always smelling farts.
So wait, she learned acting from the lady that taught soap opera acting to Joey Tribbiani in Friends. That's where she learned acting.
Yeah.
What character was that? Oh my gosh. Was that Susan Sarandon's character? Was it Susan? Whoever the actress was that taught Joey Tribbiani how to do acting.
Somebody in the chat will know. I think Susan Sarandon sounds right.
Smelling a fart, and then also being surprised that you're smelling a fart.
Surprised.
Dear God, I have a nose itch.
Oh no, he's got to itch his nose, folks. Oh, he's gonna go in. Oh man, I can see it. Oh dear. What do you got, a Buick up there?
Well, no, I'm not picking my nose.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But I would if I needed to. I don't care.
I mean,
I'll just do that on camera though, because that's gross and entertaining. Me scratching my nose like a weirdo is not what people want to see, you know. But me like going up there and digging for gold, you know.
So I think
that might actually happen.
I don't know if it's a red. I don't know if it's a red herring, or if the show has kind of like, you know, revealed its cards way too early in regards to who the dark side wielder is. Because as soon as they landed on the planet and the best friend guy was you know, saying that like, oh, you know, you got to go here, and she's like, you've been here before, and he's like, yeah, you know, I had to do this, that, and it was like, wait a minute, this guy's been to this planet before. That doesn't.
Now, how did you feel? How did you feel about how he looked?
I thought he looked exactly like the dude that plays the Flash. He looks identical to the dude who plays the Flash, right? What's the dude's name? Ezra or whatever the heck his name is. The dude who plays the Flash currently for Justice League. He looks exactly like that guy.
So you think he's the Sith Lord then?
And he is the Sith Lord. Well, here's what they've done is they've set it up, and they gave him a couple of lines. Right when they're like exchanging the flask or something, and then when they're marching up along the side of the mountain before they get into the forest, there's a couple of lines that he says that are kind of things that make you question. You're like, wait, but it sounds like this guy knows more than he's leading on, but the other character hasn't noticed yet. So it's not until she lets him go, and then she's like, wait a minute, and then she ties him up. And the thing was that I'm sitting with my lady watching this, and as soon as they're walking along the trail, before they even get into the forest, before he gets like hogtied like a child, in, you know, like a Goonies movie or something, he the random little thing he said along the cliff, my lady goes, you know what, this guy's the Sith, right? And he's just totally pretending like that's why he's here, right? Because I was so busy kind of like paying attention to some other things to, you know, pick on for the show, that I wasn't watching like standard, you know, listening to.
You're being too analytical, but also because the story is so drag out boring that you're like, I'm just like, that's the thing. The story's not good enough for you to not look at it critically. It's that bad that you can't even like. They keep breaking your immersion. Everything's awkward the whole time. So there's this scene that drove me crazy where she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to kill this next Jedi. I'm gonna kill Chewbacca Jedi." And so she's like, "I gotta kill Chewbacca Jedi.
Must kill."
And then they're going into the forest, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Yeah, no, actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go turn myself into the Jedi, and they'll protect me," which came out of left field because I'm like, okay, so what's your motivation for killing all these Jedi then? You flip your emotion, and I get it. She's a woman, so I mean, women can flip their emotions that quickly.
She's claiming that it's because she didn't know that May was alive, or didn't know that Osha was alive, and because now she thought Osha had died. So because Osha is alive, what she's saying in this moment is that because Osha is alive, that's now.
But that aha moment should have either happened sooner or way later, because the thing is like, wouldn't you, if you are led to believe that the Jedi have wiped out my entire, you know, lesbian witch,
right? It would seem
tribe,
seem as though maybe at least one of them was involved in that huge explosion.
Yeah. So then you have this turmoil, and you're like, but my sister's alive. So I would think more that you would be like, I want to reach out to my sister and bring her to the dark side because the Jedi are the bad guys. So that would be the move, not like I'm going to join the Jedi. Like, wait, aren't you operating under the idea that potentially the Jedi are the ones that murdered your entire family? And that's the thing I don't like about this. Is like, it's a very poorly told mystery. With a lot of nuance, and you never know quite where you sit, but it's not done in a way like, you know, All Knives Out, where you're like, what's going to happen next? You're like, I don't even care what happens next. I'm only watching this so I can have something to talk about on my podcast, because I'm trying to get way more people to watch this thing so
Trying to get
so I can sell
monetized.
comic books and promote my friends that make stuff, you know? Those are my two motivations for this, guys, is selling my comic books and promoting other people. That's it. You heard it here first. I'm very motivated by those two factors. So we're talking about this because everyone's talking about it, and it's something that you guys are interested in, and I think we have really good takes on it. But I would not, like, episode 3, I was like, I'm done. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like,
well, I feel like now I already know what it is.
I don't even care.
Now I know what's going on.
I just want to touch my eyeballs and scratch them instead of, I would rather do that than watch this thing. And I hate the idea of touching my eyeballs, but I think I would rather, like, oh. But here's my thing. So I like that idea of the guy. What's his name? Is it Ezra? Is that Ezra?
No. That's just the name I gave. I don't even know what the name of the character is. I don't even remember. That's how unremarkable most of this show is. I have no idea who half of the characters' names are.
That would be the most interesting thing thus far in this entire series. But when I saw the Sith, here's the thing that I hate about when they write the Sith too, is like, they're so powerful. They're just, it's like you have all these, you got a Jedi master, you got a bunch of Jedi Knights, and he's just like, I am the end boss in a World of Warcraft 40-man raid. And it's this little skinny, like, waif of a person. And I get, like, the Force and everything. But I kind of was disappointed because I was like, you just look like a wafy dude with a motorcycle helmet. And it's no longer that intimidating presence like Darth Maul. Like, you were like, whoa!
It's like I can't tell if it's like a cross between like Judge Dredd and Batfleck. It's like Judge Batfleck.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was less impressive than what was that robotic duck from Darkwing Duck? I think he's less impressive than Gizmo. Gizmo Duck, less intimidating than
blabbering
Gizmo Duck.
Blatherskites.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like I wasn't seeing it.
Gizmo
I think maybe
Duck.
It was the costume. Like, you have this motorcycle helmet, and then you have this skinny little waif neck that you could easily choke out in a guillotine choke, you know, in this little waif body. And I get it's like,
choke him out. Look at this guy. You could easily choke him out.
Yeah, I think that if they wanted to make it much more impressive, then we should have seen a little bit more of a fight scene that ended on a cliffhanger. I get, like, the whole, I don't know, man. I just saw that, and I was like, going back to all the different Star Wars enemies that you would see, you know, even, like, the frail old man. You know, you'd be like, what? This guy can't do anything. And then all of a sudden he's just like, force lightning at everyone. You know, so you see the power. I wasn't quite, I don't know. I guess I wasn't feeling, it felt cheesy to me. I could be so critical and so like eye roll over all of this that I'm just like I'm just nitpicking now. That's, you know, that would be a fair criticism.
I mean,
you
are, but it's extremely entertaining, and that's why we're all here. So
I did think that the shark mouth on the helmet was kind of interesting.
Coral, hold on. Coral, is that the name of the sidekick that is with
the guy that gave her the poison? The guy that gave May the poison. I think. Yeah, I think that's the character's name.
That's got to be who it is. Yeah.
I mean, it was like Darth Forgettable.
Darth, it's a pretty good one.
That's a good one. That is
simply hilarious.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah. Like Tim's talk, he's like, yeah, I'm only converting it for content.
I'm only covering for the content, and honestly, like, I don't mind watching it for the content. I would mind if I was like watching it just kind of like, oh hey, let's enjoy this, and I'd be like, I don't know if I want to continue watching this. Oh, the
shark teeth helmet and name of Coral. Yeah, it works, right? I don't know. But, you know, that brings up an interesting point. So,
what happened, Coral? What happened, Coral?
What happened, Coral?
What happened, Coral? Ah, Coral.
Savage.